Guys, what an actual day I'm having. What an actual day. But I am happy to be ending that day with a book review. I'm here to review my first book of 2023. It is called A Song Below Water. I'll flash the cover on the screen like I normally do and the author's name because I'm blanking on the author. I want to tell you how I found the book. So when the trailer for The Little Mermaid with Halle Bailey came out, obviously the trailer came out earlier than I think it probably should have, honestly. And I was on Twitter, and one of the responses on Twitter said, while you wait for the movie, here are some great books about mermaids and sirens and, black underwater fantasy books. And this is one of them, A Song Below Water. And it exceeded my expectations. And at first I thought I was reading the book to support Black fantasy writers and content, but it ended up exceeding my expectations, and especially because I thought that it wasn't. At first, I thought it was going to be a flop, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. So, okay, if I'm looking down, I do have my notes here because I didn't want to miss. I didn't want to miss anything that I wanted to tell you, and this will be a review. I won't give any spoilers. So it's a Black fantasy book. You know I love that. It's my favorite genre, probably my least read genre, simply because it's hard to find right now. I think I already mentioned I'm reading the follow-up to the Legendborn cycle, Bloodmarked, and it is fantastic. And yes, I did start that before I started this book, but Bloodmarked is a long book, honey. It's a long book, honey. It is like, I want to say it was like 526 pages, but I'm listening to it, so it's like 22 hours or something crazy like that. It's a long book, honey. I'll get to it. It is spicy though. But this one is a quicker read, medium paced. I want to say it was 288 pages, maybe 12 hours. I could be getting that wrong. I got it off of Libby Overdrive, a library rental app. I want to say the official name is Libby and I keep messing it up. But there was no wait for it. Again, like, no wait. There should be a wait, but whatever. There was no wait for it, so I was able to read it immediately. It started off pretty slow to me, and so I listened to it, and there were two readers, and one of the readers, I was like, ooh, this isn't gonna work, because she started narrating, and it sounded like she was reading, and I hate that. Like, I prefer a more voice actor, especially for fiction books like this one. For informational books, like I read like this book on aging and lifespans, that, sure, you can get the driest person you want, because I mean, it's hard to make that kind of content spicy anyway. But if you're having a fantasy book with like a plot and all that, I feel like you should have more so a voice actor than someone just reading, girl. And at first I was like, ooh, this is not gonna work, because one of the voice actors sounded like she was reading. So it goes back and forth between the two main characters, Effie and Tavia. They are not biological sisters, but they are, sisters of the heart. They live together, and they are both creatures. Tavia is a siren, and she knows that she's a siren, and being a siren in this book is dangerous because it's typically all Black women. So that is the other thing that I did love about this book, as I'm interrupting myself. But one thing I loved about this book was that it weaved in an element of being Black in America and being a Black person. So yes, it was fiction, yes, it was a fantasy book, but also they weaved in this plot of the siren being Black women that people in society don't trust because of their voices, and they think that these dangerous Black women are manipulating them and convincing them to do things and giving commands and so forth and so forth, and the government has like made this like collar to dampen their voices. And it really weaved into this element of Black Lives Matter, which I loved, which made sense because the book was published in 2020, at the height of like, we're all sitting in our houses watching George Floyd be massacred and protesting and whatnot. So the book was published in 2020. So I love that element of it. And these two sisters, again, so Tavia or Tave, they go back and forth with what they call her. And then her like parents called her Phoebe. And I was like, what is going on? What is this girl's name? But Tavia is what stuck out to me. Tavia knows that she's a siren. She has these complications. And her parents are terrified for her because she is a siren. And then her sister is also, Effie, is also terrified for her. And she has like a network of people that help her, a network of people that help keep her safe. And she navigates that, and she navigates love and owning her voice. It's beautifully written. And there's even this scene where she's at a protest for police brutality. But another siren is there, and she has this moment of awakening of loving herself, and they're at a protest, and she gives this her inner monologue during the protest was so moving, and you should read it just for that. And that's the thing, like you can find meaning and meaningful situations in fiction books, because that scene was so moving to me. I also, spoiler alert, I cried at the end of this book. I love that. So then the other sister, Effie, is her family situation is strained. Her mother passed. She doesn't know her father. And she's like in this fair, girl, the fair element was blowing me. And she's like a mermaid in the fair. In the fair, she is a mermaid. And she is trying to navigate that and navigate her own crushes and loves. And she doesn't know what she is, but she's a creature, and her skin's peeling and all this stuff is happening to her. She's like blacking out, but she doesn't know what she is. And so you're going through the journey of one sister knowing who she is and what kind of creature she is and navigating that, and then one just having no idea. And it made me think of myself as an adopted person, simply because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm mixed with A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, and, you know, these diseases run in my family, this runs in my family, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I have this memory of, during the pandemic, I had this, like, heart condition, okay? And I went to the hospital, and the first question they ask you is, do you have a history of heart disease in your family? And I'm like, don't know. I'll be the first to tell you if I do. So I kind of related to that in a different way, because obviously, you know, I'm not a creature, honey, as far as I know. But I really enjoyed that. But what I also enjoyed was like this author really used fantasy. Like she didn't completely make up fantasy characters. So like there are things that you already know, right? Like a siren, and she like a gargoyle, sprites. Like there are things that are already known in the fantasy world that she uses, but she uses them in her own unique way, which I thought was different from, so like I'm thinking of that book, I want to say it was called This Wicked Fate, where I just felt like the author took the Greek gods or whatever they were, I forget, I think they're Greek gods. She took the Greek gods and basically made them all black, and then did the storyline this way, that way. This didn't feel like that. This felt like this author was doing something completely unique and making up her own fantasy world, even though, like, if you say gargoyle, I know what you mean by gargoyle. There's a gargoyle in this book. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this read. I definitely would recommend it. It did not take me long to read it. And then after that protest scene, honestly, it picks up so much you don't want to put it down. That's definitely the turning point where you're like, gotta figure out what happens. I love the ending. I did think one sister got a better ending than the other, but you know, okay. I think one sister got a better ending from the other, and if you read it, let me know what you think. Put down in the comments below which sister you felt like got a better ending. Definitely check it out, especially if you like Black fantasy books. This is for you. Check it out. I would definitely give it 4 out of 5 stars. If so, I did rent this because there was no wait for it and it was on my list, and I was like, okay, let me get something else in to break up some other books that I'm reading. And it was, I would buy it is what I was trying to say there. I would buy it even though I did rent it. I thought that it was worthy of money cash. I think that's it. Like the video, subscribe. Let me know what you're reading this year. My reading goal for 2023 is 70 books. I only have one done so far. But I do have I'm reading some others. So my download for the Prince Harry book is a thing now. So that was available today. So I'm gonna start that. Again, I'm reading Blood Marked, and I'm reading this book called Camp 14. It's an older book, I'm gonna say 2012, about Camp 14 refugee or escapee from North Korea. So I'm reading that. So I do have some things in the works, and honestly, I'll probably finish that Camp 14 book before the end of the week because it's short. But yeah, like and subscribe. If you want to check out my jewelry, I'll leave the link below. I think that's it. I'm done rambling. You're good people. I'm a good person. We're gonna have a great year. Bye.